I got a joke.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Should we wait or should we do it now?
Start it out. Go
I don't
on.
know. It's a Harry Potter joke. Y'all like Harry
you
Potter,
can just
right?
do it now. It's fine.
All right. What is Harry Potter's favorite way to get down a hill?
I mean, I give up.
Go on.
Walking. J.K. Rowling.
Oh goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow.
I can't count the reasons I should stay.
It's so loud, guys. I'm so sorry.
One by one, they all just fade away.
That was the cover of the theme song of the TV show Community, because we're going to talk about Community later in this episode, but this is the Divinely Uninspired podcast, the podcast from Journey Church, and I'm here with my best friend, Penny.
Hey.
Hey, there's that cheerfulness, and Jeremy's here too. Hey, Jeremy, what's up?
I'm here. Y'all are just mad that y'all didn't like my joke, and y'all are both sick, and I'm not.
No,
so y'all stay on the sick side of the table.
No, about that. I am not sick.
I'm not sick.
Just a little bit of stuff going on.
So like sick.
Yeah, well, call it what you want to call it. It's fine. All right. Well, how's everybody doing? It's very confrontational in here today.
It is very confrontational in here.
So
it's all Jeremy.
It's not going to be a good one.
I'm just out of drinking my coconut milk, just trying to live my best life.
Okay.
Pretending I'm on this beach in Fiji or wherever that is.
Does that like coat your mouth when you drink it?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Ooh, so gross.
I mean,
so
that's
gross.
the thought of that. It's
Yeah.
gross. What?
Is it like milk? Like, milk like leaves this like.
Have you guys seen that video? I don't get on Instagram pretty much ever, but I get on Twitter the other day, and there's a guy that's like a wine connoisseur, and he's like this like weird guy. And anyway, there's a point to the story. Because you said coat your throat. He talks about how he eats pepperonis before he drinks wine because he likes the grease to get in his cheeks, and he drinks the wine. And like people are just like tearing this guy up because you're like, why would you eat pepperonis? And then like just the grease in your cheeks is just like a weird statement.
So
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. That is the end of the show, maybe forever. That is the grossest thing I've ever
He
heard.
also puts ice in his wine. And like in this video, he's drinking like a $600 bottle of wine, and he's like got crushed ice in it.
Now, here's the thing. I don't mind an ice in a wine, but I am trash. So what do you think about that, Penny? Ice in a wine?
honestly, like if you stuck a glass of like $600 wine in front of me, I wouldn't know any different.
No.
But the best part was the pepperonis. Like instead of eating like cheese or like chocolate or whatever people, I'm not a wine person, but like he's just like taking pepperonis and eating them like a seal. Like you should Google this. It's pretty entertaining. And people just like tore this guy up. Kind of felt bad for him, but anyway.
All right.
It was fun. It was funny.
Well, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Well, it's been a while since we recorded, and a lot has happened in the world. Of course.
What happened?
Well, there was a battle of coastal elites that don't really represent anyone in the middle of the country, even though we cheer for them. And of course, I'm speaking about the World Series.
Oh yeah.
It was on. Anybody watch that?
I watched a couple games. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Sports Corner. The World Series. Now, it was the Dodgers and the Yankees, which seems like a big deal because those are both teams that people that don't have teams to cheer for.
Yep.
And they drew record viewership, which is hilarious because the viewership was less than 16 million people watched each game, which is not hardly anything if you think about the number of people in the country, even though it's a 67 increase from last year between the Diamondbacks and the Rangers. So
I feel like baseball is just hard to watch, though. Like I did watch a couple of games, but like
Did you really?
Yeah, I did watch a couple games because there was a lot of big stars in here, and I wanted to see Ohtani and then Aaron Judge.
Yep.
And then you got like Mookie Betts, and then you've got like all like the last three, and then what's they got? Freddie that used to play for the Braves, Freddie Freeman. Yeah. So I mean, there were some big stars in it.
Arguably, the two biggest stars in baseball were in the World Series and did not know it was on TV.
But I would like watch it and then like, flip back and like watch something else for like 30 minutes and then like turn it back on. It'd be like, it was only the next inning. You know what I'm saying? Like it just takes forever.
Okay, so you bring up a good point because I've stopped watching baseball entirely. I was a huge baseball fan as a kid, and we didn't have a team because we're in Louisville. We've got nothing.
The Reds.
We don't have a team because that is in Ohio and we are in Kentucky. So when the Marlins started, I was like, oh, I'm just going to root for this. My family lives in Florida. That'll be exciting. and they won a World Series, and then the next year they got rid of their whole team because they said, we're not making enough money. And I'm like, well, you won the World Series. And then Cynical Paul was born, where he realized that this is all about money and not about the sportsmanship. So I really didn't care about baseball. But this year we went to a minor league game with my daughter's school, and they had the new pitch clock going.
Yeah, they have that. Yeah.
That game was brisk. It was just
it makes
boom,
it
boom.
better.
Oh, it was great. And it was like 2 hours long. Got a whole game in. It used to be like a 4 or 5 hour, which was fine, but who's got 4 or 5 hours now? But you're saying this series was a little bit.
I mean, it was still, I think, under like 3 hour games, but I'm just saying, like, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Like, that's a long time to watch baseball.
That's like an Avatar movie once a night for 2 weeks. That's just crazy. It's too much going on. Did you watch any of the World Series there, Penny?
No.
Well, me neither. Like I said, I did not know it was on until it was over. And I went, oh, well, that's
I don't watch baseball.
By like just
unless it's like the Savannah Bananas or something.
That's not real baseball.
Is there if there was a women's minor league base or major league baseball, WMLB, would you watch it, or is it just
probably not?
No,
it has nothing to do with that.
No, okay, well,
that's a little boring.
League of Their Own. Did you watch A League of Their Own?
That's a really great movie, and you know it.
I've actually never seen it.
John Lovitz can do no wrong.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah, I'm being dead serious.
Well, don't look at me. I've seen it.
I never saw A League of Their Own.
I thought it was good back in the day.
I mean, I know about it, but I never saw it.
Madonna, Gina Davis, big times.
Yeah, I was too busy watching Rambo First Blood. I don't have time for that.
Well, I'm sorry. My parents didn't let me watch R-rated movies as a child, so we didn't get to watch that.
My parents probably did. I was R-rated.
Well, Rambo is a wild movie. Also, I didn't see it until like the last 5 years or so.
Yeah, the first one.
Ever. I've never seen a Rambo until then, and it was...
They get better.
I don't know. That first one's pretty good. If anybody's familiar with Rambo but hasn't seen it, Rambo, the hero in the first one, he blows up a police station and you cheer for him, and it's very strange.
Well, what I meant by they get better is he just kills a whole lot more people.
Well, the second
one's
the very
also first
very
movie,
good.
he takes on that police department. It's like small town police department. By like movie 3, he's taking out like an entire country by himself.
Afghanistan.
So.
He did a great job, by the way. Thanks, Rambo.
Yeah.
And then later on, he made some more. The last Rambo, Last Blood, that one I enjoyed that too.
Is that the one where he did one where he took on? They was rescuing missionaries.
That was 2 Rambos ago.
Okay,
yeah. There's a lot of Rambos.
I don't think I've ever watched a Rambo.
Listen, the third one's pretty bad. The first 2 are great. That last one is really good. He's an old man. He's got a granddaughter.
Okay. Yeah.
He's fighting the cartel.
I might watch it someday.
And this, of course, though, we're in the middle of Sports Corner, so we're not going to be discussing more Rambo. So less than 16 million people average viewed is not what I'm trying to say. Not a lot of people watching it. I'm sure The Big Bang Theory got twice that every episode.
In comparison to how many people watch the Super Bowl, you think? I mean, it's like 100 million plus, isn't it? Like, I mean,
that seems high. But well, you know what? While we're going to it, what do you want to bet?
I bet it's 100 million.
That's how many people are going to be here on Christmas Eve when we announce that too.
It's going to be packed, Paul.
60 million is what I'm guessing for that service. Did you watch the Super Bowl, Penny?
100 million. Yeah. I'm right. Boom.
Topping out at 126 million at some point.
Wow. 100 million.
123 million this year. Baseball had less than 16 million setting records.
Of course, baseball too is over 5 games versus 1 big game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, well, it does not get you to 123 million.
It doesn't, but still.
I bring it up because this weekend was the big Tyson fight, which
was awful.
60 million people watched that, and not 16, 60 million people.
How many of those 60 actually got to watch it versus just watching that circle of death? Forever?
How many of the 60 million people watched the next day because they could not stay up until 12:30 to watch an old man fight a child? Yeah. It was
pretty brutal.
It was pretty smart marketing though, right? Like for age range, like you have those who know Jake Paul and then those who know Tyson. Like it was pretty smart.
Yeah.
But
it would be like, I mean, it really would be like if Michael Jordan was like, I'm going to do a one-on-one game with like, I don't know who's the best new young star. Like, I mean, you're at 58. You can't do what you
The person that put it best was on Instagram, and he said, I can't deal with it if Mike Tyson gets knocked out. It's like if Mr. Beast crossed up Michael Jordan and dunked on him.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it was, did you watch it at all?
I did. I watched the whole thing.
Did you watch it live?
Miserable. So we tried to. So we were at a friend's house, and he had on his TV, and it kept like cycling through. So we were like doing all the steps because everybody was killing him on Twitter. Like and so like Netflix put this tweet out, like basically it was a smart TV. So their suggestion was log out of your account, delete the app, reload, add the app, log back in and do it. And so we did that, and it worked for like 5 more minutes. and then it stopped. So we were literally, there was, I think 5 or 6 of us. We were all around my phone watching it on my phone. And then finally I realized I could cast to his TV. So we ended up casting to the TV and watching it. But
Apple is
for a
great.
good hour, it was 5 grown men just sitting around a phone watching it, because that's the only thing that we could get to watch it on.
And then what you were watching was not very exciting.
No, the Tyson fight, the girls' fight was good. The 2 ladies that fought before, man, they were throwing some haymakers.
I heard that's the one I didn't see. I saw the first one where there was like a Indian Netflix star fighting somebody.
Yeah.
It was fine. I think for an undercard, I was expecting people to be upset because no one watches boxing, and it makes all kinds of money for some reason.
Yeah.
Like they made so much money for this. I'm sure Netflix paid a lot of it whenever Mayweather fights, but traditionally, boxing has been one big fight as the headliner, and then an undercard that is just a mess. Mm-hmm. And I was expecting people to be real bored by the time the Tyson fight. But that first one, it was pretty exciting. And then I didn't watch the women's one, but it was, I guess, controversial because one lady landed 100 more punches than the other one, and she still lost.
Yeah, she was cut up pretty bad though. But yeah, I mean, it was. I don't know. I honestly don't know how they score boxing. I mean, because I would always say like. Because then they were saying there's a difference too between punches thrown and like power punches, and so power punches are more points than just because you could just sit there and literally just throw a bunch of punches and not actually do any damage versus a power punch, which I guess is sounds like something from like a video game. But
well, you got to load up and you get that star.
Yeah. Anyway,
so what'd you think of the fight, Penny? I know you were excited about it.
I watched it.
Yeah. Did you not really?
No, I did a little bit.
Oh, well, you were asking me about it. I thought you were hyped up for it.
No, I was going to watch it, and then it didn't come on for like another 4 hours. I was like, I gotta go to bed.
All I will say though is, and I'm not doing this because I love Tyson, but like Jake Paul and Logan Paul are the worst. Like they're just, I can't watch.
Wait, is it Jake? It's Jake Paul,
Jake
right?
fought.
Yeah, Logan Paul's a professional wrestler.
A professional wrestler, but they're just the worst. They're just awful.
Are they related?
They're brothers.
They're brothers.
The Paul
what?
brothers.
I just said the Paul
Can you
brothers.
pull that up?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They were YouTube stars. You sent me that clip of him dancing and singing.
Is that Logan or is that Jake?
That's Jake before his tattoos.
Jake was the one that fought, right?
Oh, that's funny. Paul Brothers is actually a guy's name. That's really funny. He's like, why do people keep searching for me?
He should fight Tyson.
So Jake and Logan Paul are brothers. They were YouTube stars, and they were both bad people on YouTube. They would do dumb things.
Are they twins?
No, one's younger. Like this, Logan was born in 1995.
I thought that was the same person.
No, so Logan Paul, he's no good, but he is actually a really, really good professional wrestler. Like he's amazing to have only done it like 2 or 3 years.
Is he the one that bought? Okay, you probably are not going to know this, but one of them bought like a 1.5 million Charizard.
It's this guy.
Okay,
because he wore it on a necklace to WrestleMania.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, whoa! What did you just say?
He bought a Charizard, a Pokemon card that's worth more than $1 million.
Why is a Pokemon card worth $1 million?
Because it's rare.
It's like
But he wears it as a rapper would wear a big chain. He wears it on a chain, and it's really funny. And I was like, all right, this guy.
Does an actual dinosaur come out of this card? Because how are you spending $1 million on a card?
Okay, so Jake Paul made $40 million for that Tyson fight. And that's probably nothing compared to what he's made in the past.
Tyson made $20 million, I heard.
So $60 million between the two of them. But he's the bigger draw now because, well, he's not actually because I'm sure Tyson, if he was not fighting Tyson, he would not have.
All I know is that I was looking at stuff on the internet before the fight because I know who they are. I just can't say them. But one of his quotes was, he was like, "This is the biggest fight in fighting history," and I was like, I think Muhammad Ali and George Foreman might like disagree.
Well, he's 27, so he doesn't know that.
Yeah,
I mean, he beat Tyron Woodley, Ben Askren, and Anderson Silva in boxing matches, and those are all 3 MMA fighters. But Anderson Silva way past his time, and the other 2 were not. They were wrestlers, so they didn't really have any good striking. But then he lost to the actual real boxer that he's ever fought before.
It's Tyson Fury's brother, right?
Tommy Fury, yeah. So the 2 lesser brothers fought each other, and he lost. But he beat Tyson, and I was just, that fight, it was like if I was fighting, how old is your son, Penny?
He is 12.
Maybe like that. If I was to box him,
I had to think for a moment.
where I don't have the cardio to keep up with him.
You know what's crazy? How is 1997 27 years ago? Well,
I don't know, Mamaw. But basically, he got danced around and smacked at for half an hour, and I was like, if he just got one good punch off, he could knock him out. But he's not going after him, and this guy just kind of smacked at him. And I feel like a 12-year-old could do that to me probably for half an hour if I couldn't get a hold of him.
I feel like Tyson could have knocked him like one good time.
But that's what you're watching.
No, he couldn't.
So this guy danced around because he's young, and he.
Mm-hmm.
He came out strong, like that first 30 seconds. You were like, all right, Tyson's going to do something.
Yeah.
And then it just got dramatically worse after
Hey,
that.
there is a post going around social media that his walkout song was to the Phil Collins song.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the walkout because I didn't watch the next one.
Yeah, that's the song. And there's also
In
the
The
song,
Hangover.
The Hangover with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's the
Oh, that's
best
funny.
scene. Oh, that's funny.
Well, did you see,
I thought that was not real, but that's
No, it
funny that he
actually
did it.
happened.
did y'all see them Tyson cakes before? He came
No.
Netflix,
Oh, yeah, I did, yes.
Netflix
So that
is-
was the one part that actually worked on
Okay.
the TV. It just all of a sudden started working. And we were just like, he kissed his son. And then all of a sudden he turns around and you're just like,
Yeah.
what? just
Netflix has
happened?
got a lot. Listen, they've got football on Christmas Day coming up. Beyonce's performing at halftime of one of those games. They're taking over WWE Monday Night Raw in January.
They got to figure out this live
yeah,
stuff.
their live TV has really got to get it together. So
Wait, who's doing the?
Netflix is doing
Netflix is doing a bunch of new live stuff.
They've got football games on Christmas, and then they're doing wrestling starting next year. They won that contract, so
Wow, yeah.
it's all going to be live.
That was awful.
It's all going to be Netflix and YouTube in about 10 years. That's all we're going to have. So,
That's-
And
Well,
Disney Plus.
well, Disney Plus will be there still because they're owning everything too. So, all right. Well, that was Sports Corner. I'm glad we got that going. So,
It was exhilarating.
I mean, I know I'm feeling the heat from Sports Corner. If everybody wants to take a quick drink, get excited because we have another corner coming up, and it's
Everybody's waiting here at Food Corner, waiting
that's
for
right.
you.
It's Pooh Corner,
Oh,
and it is there is a car, and boy, this website it was up when we started, and now it's asking me for
Is
money.
this appropriate?
So there is a car now that runs on it's powered by animal poop and hydrogen. I'm sure the hydrogen's
All
probably
right, you
doing some
said
heavy
poop.
lifting. Yeah.
But you said poo, and I thought we were doing a segment about Winnie the Pooh.
Well,
And I was
there's a lot of poop
what are we
songs,
about to do?
but it's Pooh Corner.
I was like, are we about to have a whole thing about Winnie the Pooh? Like, what's...
No, that Winnie the Pooh. Okay, just we're going to talk about Disney Plus real quick. Do y'all remember? Did anybody have enough money to have the Disney Channel as a child in this room?
No.
We didn't have cable.
Oh, not cable at all. Well, I'll talk to Penny.
I didn't have cable either.
Well, listen to me and my childhood of privilege. Goodness. All right. Well, I had cable, and every year for a week or a weekend, we'd get the Disney Channel as a free preview.
Yeah.
And it was the biggest week because it was free. And it was like, oh,
What did they put on there? What was the content?
it was the Mickey Mouse Club from the 50s.
Yeah.
Then later, the Mickey Mouse Club from the 90s with all the stars of today
Oh.
with Timberlake and Britney Spears and Ryan Gosling and all those people. But they showed the show that song came from called Welcome to Pooh Corner, and it was the most fever dream of a TV show. It was live action Winnie the Pooh with fake book backgrounds, and it is the creepiest thing. If you ever get a chance to look it up on YouTube,
He's one of my favorite bears. I do like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. What is
Is
it?
that what?
Winnie the Pooh is awesome. He's a bear.
Is it a Pooh bear?
A what?
What is it? What kind of bear is
He's
it?
just a bear. He's like a stuffed animal.
He loves honey.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
friends with Christopher Robin.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movies?
No, I've heard the scary version ones. No, I've not, but I've heard about them.
The second one was really something. I didn't see the first one. We watched the second one this year for Halloween. It was surprisingly not terrible.
So there's a car that runs on poop.
Yep. And what do y'all think? Do you
That's
think?
cute.
Is it a Hyundai? Is that what I just saw? That
It
sounds
is.
about right.
Oh man, shots fired at Hyundai, but he's not wrong. What do you think about that, Penny? Would you drive a car that was mostly?
Does it stink?
Well, I think it's poo and hydrogen, and I think it's deceptive because the actual poo, you don't go right into the gas can. You
That'd be
actually
awesome if your driver's seat just opened up and you just took it up and you're like, all right, go 10 more miles.
It's
If
like
you-
a DeLorean, like when you used to put the trash in the.
That's right. You get the
Yeah.
Mr. Fusion in the back. It runs on human feces, but it is
Oh.
because
That's not good.
it is a plant
What
that
did you think
actually.
we were talking about? We were talking about poo.
Like dog poo. Like animal poo.
Okay, but it's actually hydrogen created from sewage at a waste treatment plant. So really, it's one of those clickbait things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it was really just a way for us to tip our toe into Pooh Corner to get to the coolest thing ever. This gentleman who has made what he calls the poop copter, and it is a drone that can fly around your backyard and pick up your dog's waste, so you don't have to waste your time.
Huh.
And let's see, there is a video.
I feel like this is really complicated for something that doesn't need to be.
Well, so you have a dog, yes?
Yeah.
And do you enjoy getting out there and picking up its scraps?
I don't go pick up its scraps or
Well,
scraps
Yeah,
too
it's
much.
fertilizer for your yard.
That I don't think is accurate. But
Do you go?
It is.
Your dogs are. How big are your dogs?
Fertilizer
Paul?
is. Fertilizer
70 pounds. And I
Oh,
don't.
well, I bet they got some big old poos.
Listen, they do. And guess what? I don't pick them up because that was part of the plan. That was part of the deal with us getting dogs that I'm not That was
Be
the
the
agreement.
pooper.
So is he trying to do like a Kickstarter for this and get people to buy it, or is it just?
Well, this is a terrible video. Oh, I've seen it in action. There it goes. So it's a drone that this man has created, and it uses AI to pick out what looks like poo, and it drops over on top of it, and it's got a little carrying case, and it snags it and then takes it to a designated area like a trash can. You set the coordinates, and it picks it up.
Okay. I will say that this might be kind of cool since I am one of those walkers. When I take my dog for a walk, I always pick up her poop.
Yeah, you should
Do
in
you do
somebody
that?
else's yard.
JK rolling.
You don't pick up poop?
I don't take the dogs on a walk unless I've seen them go poop within the most recent hour because
Okay.
I'm not.
I take my dog on a walk a lot.
There's nothing worse than a hot bag of poo to carry home. And again, my dogs are
feel you on that.
gigantic, and they
That's a big poo.
leave ones that will.
So you
put
just
to
leave it? Just leave it in their yard?
I don't
leave it in
take
the neighbor's
them.
yard?
I don't take them. Did we not hear the story? I don't take them for poo walks.
Okay.
I make sure they go before they get the zoomies, and then we go. We don't.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll let my dog out before I take him for a walk or a run, and he still does it when he go. Like he won't go. Like if he knows, like he senses we're about to go, he just.
Well, your dog's kind of a jerk. It sounds like.
So I have 2 pairs of running shoes, and I can this is true. I can put on any pair of shoes, and he'll just like sit there and watch me. But if I grab one of those 2 pairs of shoes, like
he's
just
smart.
goes nuts.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it picks up the poo.
but he's a little dog, right? Though, so he's not a big.
He's like 50 pounds.
Well, yeah. Both of our dogs
He's
are.
like a wolf. He's like a really good in shape wolf.
Charlie is not like a wolf.
Like more of a
in any way, shape, or form.
fluffy llama or something.
A fluffy llama. I like that.
It's not even accurate.
So, would you buy one of these though? Is this something that appeals to you?
No.
No.
How much is it?
Well, I think it is it's currently just a Kickstarter, and this guy with the worst lighting I've ever seen at a live event.
Does he have to navigate it?
No, so that's the thing. Okay,
What happens if you move the trash can?
well
It
then I
just
think you have
drops
to
the
just
poo?
reset where.
So and just drop the poo where it thinks it's supposed to.
Yeah, it just takes it to the one place, opens up, and then drops it in. So if you have what I think you would have is like a designated poo bucket, a poo corner. How about that? And it will sense it. It uses AI, it picks it up, takes it away.
Could you make it like your neighbor's yard? It
Right.
just picks it up and drops it in your neighbor's yard.
I mean, you could, and I not thought about that. If your neighbor has a pool, it would
Yeah.
just pick it up and drop it in the pool, and which would be hilarious.
Yeah.
As long as your neighbors weren't home and saw it coming, which would be worse. But all right, well, fine.
I think it's cool. I would
No,
not buy it.
all right.
Yeah.
It is cool. It's cool, but it's also like, just go pick up your dog's poop.
Just have an agreement with your spouse that if we get dogs, you're not picking it up because it's worked for me so far. Actually, we had a service briefly that came around and did it, and
To pick up
Yeah.
your poo?
Yeah, it's actually not that much.
it was like $12
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah.
They came out once a week and they would come by and pick it up.
I've
and
looked into it.
I cannot imagine how much money they're making because it seems like it would take so long to drive from house to house that.
But if they get enough people in one neighborhood, then they're probably making.
Well-
they
Yeah,
probably
but
do one.
that's the thing though. You'd have to get.
But how long does it take to pick up poop? I mean, even if your dog had a lot of crap.
I'm going to say 20 minutes.
So 20 minutes. So if you're working an 8-hour day and you're doing a new house every half hour, $12. I mean, that's a pretty good little.
Well,
change.
that guy wasn't making that. The company was making that. So I don't know how.
No, I'm saying like I do independent contracting. Go undercut them. Be like, I'll do it for $11. I need 10 houses. I need 10 houses in each neighborhood. That's $100 a neighborhood. You're picking up.
I would pay Jeremy
No,
$10
think about it,
to
think
come
about it,
pick
think
up
about
the
it.
poop in my yard.
15.
You pick up a different neighborhood every day, so you're making $100 a day, 5 days a week, $500. I mean, that's
What is happening?
that's
down
way
there?
better than door dashing.
You're making $500 a week.
No, $500 a week extra. So I mean, it's not gonna take you that long to pick up poop.
How many?
How long does it take you to pick up poop? It can't take.
That's
that
what I'm
long.
saying. So the guy that cuts our yard, he's the one that was like, I can pick up poop for $10 extra.
And you're like, you can just mow over it for
just
free.
mow
Go over it. Exactly.
I don't understand.
I literally was like, no, we're good.
Because you know that's what he does. He just not as good to pick that up. He's just like, I'm just gonna mow over it and drop the mower
Smart,
blade.
though.
Does he bag your grass?
No.
Okay, well, I was going to say then the poop would go right in it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
But you have somebody mowing your grass. That's nice. You didn't even
Yep.
have cable growing up. Look at you, started
I
from the
know.
bottom. Now you're here. well, hey,
That's so fun. Okay.
so you know who's at the bottom now? Frequent.
Spirit.
I know what happened. I feel like
What
they were
happened?
They were so popular.
What happened? Hopefully, they listened to this podcast where I went on a rant about how terrible they are, and they lost all their customers.
I went on like I said they
So,
were really awesome.
I read an article about this recently. I didn't know they were going to file for bankruptcy, but
Anyway, Spirit Airlines filed for bankruptcy. Go ahead.
they said that this is actually really bad for flyers because like these airlines lower the prices of everybody else. because like, I'm never going to fly Spirit. I'll fly Southwest. And so Southwest has to be competitive in order for me to keep picking them. And they were saying now that like Spirit and like there's a bunch of
No, Frontier and Breeze are still in there, and Spirit's going to continue.
They said, but they're in trouble too. So.
Spirit is going to continue to fly. They're filing for bankruptcy protection, so they don't.
That doesn't sound.
But
good.
basically, the article was saying that if those like low tier airlines ever went out of business, it's bad news
We'll
because
just
then
bail out.
Is
Delta
Spirit the one, or is it Allegiant that has like all the extra fees?
they both do. They're
Okay.
the same way.
It's like, hey, you can get on the plane for $20.
Right.
You take your shoes off for $20. You can go to the
if you want a
bathroom
bottle
for
of
$15.
water, here's $10. If
Gotcha.
you want, yeah.
You want to check a bag.
Well, it makes me wonder if that is why Southwest was like, we're going to now offer, you can select your seats now, like just to amplify something a little better. And if you're paying a little more for a good seat, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
What is
makes me
Southwest
wonder-
offering now?
So Southwest now has changed it. You know how it used to be you just could
Open
pick a seat,
seats.
open seating? Now it's like everybody else where you buy a certain seat.
No, that was the best part about Southwest
No,
was the
that
free
gave me
for all at the beginning.
It's high anxiety.
No,
Paul.
you just got to check in early and then you
Yeah,
get A
no,
and then you can sit wherever
yeah.
you want.
Well, that's not good when you're trying to go to Hawaii.
You couldn't check in the day before.
It was just a lot of people, so I paid a little extra.
You
to
flew
make sure.
Southwest to Hawaii. That's,
did, yeah.
That's something. How much was that?
It was reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the plane was really not. They have different planes for the ones that go to Hawaii.
Oh, I'd hope so.
Yeah,
Paul, reasonable to her though is different. She has people pick up her dog poop.
Well, I mean,
I didn't. No, I don't.
And
I
cut
have
the
someone.
grass.
Okay, that I do.
now I would like to know. I wonder what reasonable is, because the last time I went on Spirit, I flew it because it was only $200 to fly a round trip to Florida, which is cheaper than it would be to drive.
Could you take bags though?
You could take a carry-on, which is all I needed because I was only going to be gone for the weekend.
Yeah.
And it was just the worst experience of my life. So, all right. Well, hey, we're back.
So Spirit.
So the last time I went on Spirit, it was $200 for the flight. And I said, it's nice. I mean, you know, like I said, you couldn't drive there and you're saving 10 hours of both ways going. The comparable Southwest flight was almost $700. So I don't know who they're being competitive with.
I took Spirit to Orlando last year for
That's the one I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
and I missed my flight.
and it was great. Mine was great.
Well, a piece broke off. The brakes broke off of the first flight.
Of the flight?
They were like, well, our parking brake is bad. So 5 hours later, waiting at the airport, they wouldn't let us take off. And then they sent us home. The next day, there was a broken door, like a little
That's not good.
fuel door. And they said, we can fly with that. We just have to pop it all the way off. And then a
that's
guy
not-
came in and popped it off. And I was like, this
is
terrible.
That's absolutely terrible.
So it was a day and a half. And I was there with a bunch of kids going to Disney World. And they missed at least a day and a half of their trip
Oh,
because
That's so sad.
it was awful. But like I said, it was a quarter of the price of Southwest. So I'm not sure who they're trying to be competitive with, because
Have we talked about going to Disney by ourselves? Have we talked about that?
I don't know. But hey, it's not on the menu. But let's
I
talk
actually think I would love to do that.
It's a
By
blast.
yourself?
yeah.
I've done it 3 times.
Yeah, Paul, I'm down with that. Like it'd
Yeah.
be great to like go do whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
listen,
man.
Disney, Universal, any of those
Or
things.
Do you have to
Universal.
ride a ride by yourself though?
Oh, well, there's
That
plenty of
seems
people
lame
there.
sauce.
There's another million people there.
I know, but just yeah.
It was the best time.
I don't think
No
a guy can pull it. I don't think I can pull that off. I feel like
You would be a creep.
It
I
would.
agree.
It would be like if I'd be like, "Hey, kid, you want to ride this with me?"
Well, first of all, I didn't introduce myself to anyone.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You're on the watch list now. False. I got his hood up. Like,
There's like a million cameras there. They're watching you. They're not. None of that funny business is going on. But it was a good time because
Yeah.
you don't have someone. First of all, it's way cheaper,
yeah, but,
and it's
I'm actually for this.
like I've gone to conferences by myself, and I'll be honest, like sitting in the hotel by yourself at night, or
Okay,
like
first of all,
going down to like the restaurant and being like, "All right, I guess I'll just sit at the
you're
bar."
done. We're not even
because-
talking about going to a church
Jeremy's
conference.
Jeremy's mic is off.
We're talking about
being
going to
petty.
Disney or Universal and having fun.
Can I tell you? And again, secret time. My family doesn't listen. Being in a hotel by yourself is the best time.
You know that.
Yeah, oh my
It really
gosh, come on
is.
now.
No, it is that. I'm agreeing.
Jeremy,
with
your
that
family's
part.
great. Although your wife tried to kick me on Sundays, I'm not sure how I
I
feel
agree
about
with all
Jigger.
that. I'm just saying, like going out to dinner by yourself is lonely.
I'm not going out to dinner.
I don't think
You
I'd
just eat
be-
everything in your room.
I mean, what do
You
you?
seem like you would make friends very easily.
I do make friends everywhere.
Are
I
you
go.
treating yourself when you go? Like, what do you get? A big steak?
No, like I'm just getting like
to Ruth's Chris by
Like last
yourself?
time I went to Orlando for a conference by myself, I went to this like actually Miller's Ale
Oh,
House.
yeah.
I went to Miller's and sat at the bar and got myself a Big Red. And,
Yeah. A Big
not
Red
the
is a
drink.
chicken
It's a
sandwich.
chicken sandwich, but I don't know. After like a few minutes, I was like, I'm just gonna start talking to these guys next to me. They were there golfing and
Oh my gosh!
started talking to them, and then they invited me to go golf with them next day. I
Has
told
that
them, like,
conference already passed?
that one's coming up in March.
We could not be more different people, as
Yeah.
it turns out, me and Jeremy, because that sounds like a dream.
I talk to people on the airplane. Like I become friends with them.
I used to
Like,
have to travel to do that cheerleading, those videos, and I
Yeah.
would have to go by myself sometimes. And I had to go to Myrtle Beach, and I was like, well, I went out to Planet Hollywood by myself. I'm like, this is fun. And that's before I had a family. That was just.
When I go to the gym, I talk to everybody at the gym. Like I invited a guy to pickleball tonight, like just out of the blue. He had a pickleball shirt on. I was like, you should come play. And then we started talking about like, yeah, it's fun.
Well, so this is why you are the pastor of the church and I'm in the back because these are my people back here, the ones that don't really like to be out. But I'm really concerned because it's like talking to my wife. She will just, when we went to Disney, she would just sit down and start talking to people. And I'm like, why are we engaging with these strangers? And she was having the best time. We went to that Star Wars bar.
Yeah.
And she was just talking to these
That'd be
people.
so much fun to go hang out at.
And I was like, what are we doing? First of all, it's 11 in the morning, and I'm like, it's a little early to be at the bar. But
that's okay. It's vacation.
Fine. Yeah, it's vacation. So anyway, I don't know what brought that up, Penny, but
Spirit Air.
It was just, I don't know.
I wouldn't take
felt
my
the
kids on
spirit.
Spirit Air because it seems dangerous. It seems like it's one of those, what do they call it when the president and vice president can't ride together?
That's just called that.
There's like something where they have to have one person alive.
Okay, something happens to him.
Yeah, like
Like a protocol, you have to have like two different people.
There was a show where like there's the one
Known
designated survivor.
Designated survivor.
yes.
Yeah, they're not letting too many
Kiefer
important people.
Sutherland.
Yeah, they're not letting too many people get on Spirit because it's real risky. So, all right. Well, we've got one more quick thing, and it's one more. We're going to Fashion Corner.
Oh, good.
Sweet goodness! I mean, we got it. These cookies, we got it. All
Why
right.
are they called cookies?
We're gonna roll right past that. All right.
I know, he's right though. Why do we call it cookies?
I mean, there's a million other things you could call it, but cookies?
Well, you all okay? So real quick, before we do this, when I say talk amongst yourself, it means I'm going away from the mic and looking something up. You two speak to each other, so there's not a lull.
Do you want me to bring up this article?
No.
I think that
No.
they could call it something. I think cookies, they could easily call it something other than cookies. There's a lot more things that make sense, like links or like
Yeah.
chains or like,
Cookies is weird.
but cookies. Yeah.
'Cause cookies is like good, like.
Yeah, and nobody likes cookies. So like they took something that's good and made it not sound good.
I don't even know what a cookie is. Like,
oh, you've never had a cookie?
No,
Like a
I don't know,
chocolate
like,
chip
even
or
what
raisin
this-
or like
what a
oatmeal
cookie is.
raisin.
oh, do you like oatmeal raisin?
No, it's like the granola bar of cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're back, and it
Yes.
is
You would.
a magic cookie is what they used to call it.
So it's called a magic cookie.
A packet of data that a program receives and sends back unchanged. The name cookie was chosen to help users avoid having to re-enter the same information when they could. This is a terrible. So, okay, Google AI, if you're listening to this, stop it. It's the worst. Google AI is the worst. Oh my gosh. It's all terrible. None of this makes any sense.
So none of it makes sense, but really it's just they just used the word cookie to make it sound like it was.
The term cookie
Good.
comes from the word magic cookie. It doesn't help. All right.
All right, so no cares. It's just called a cookie.
It's
Whatever.
bad. It's dumb.
It's dumb.
Did you know, this is something I saw that when that's part of in the Matrix when he is talking to the Oracle and she gives him a cookie when he eats it because it's like one of those things. It's like fun web jokes for people.
Yeah.
So all right, well we're past tech talk. And
All right,
we're
so
going
back to fashion.
back to Fashion Corner. What do you think about? So Penny, you're the lady in the group.
Yeah.
And I would assume the most fashionable, perhaps. Maybe not today, but
Oh, thanks, Paul.
what do you think about this one-leg fashion trend that's going on apparently for women's pants?
Oh, this is
Taylor
dumb.
Swift has already done this.
Okay.
So this is old news.
When I saw the headline article, it would be better if it was both legs and one trouser pant. I thought it was going to be that. Instead, it's just
So you're like a mermaid?
Yeah, like I thought that would be awesome.
You're just like a sack racer.
You got to
everywhere
figure out exactly a sack race pants. But
Well,
this is dumber.
Put that down. Sack race
Yeah,
pants
sack
is not
race
bad.
pants.
I like
Yeah.
that. Everybody work on your quads. So one-legged trousers, it means pants that only have a single leg and the second one is a real short. And
That's not even like.
they're calling this a fashion trend.
LL
But
Cool J already did this a long time ago.
when he rolled up his pant leg, he
I
didn't
know, but he made it cool.
did he?
Yeah, I did it. 'Cause
All
I
right.
did it.
So Penny, what do you
That's ugly.
Okay, hang on real quick. We're gonna you dressed up like the little cool James there?
Yeah, everybody did. You didn't go to school where everybody was rolling up their pant leg because of LL Cool J?
No. What about you, Penny?
I need a
Did you
picture of
Okay, did you
this.
ever wear your pants backwards because of crisscross?
No.
I didn't either, but I did do the LL Cool J.
I don't believe him down there.
I do agree with Chris Cross that inside out was wiggity wiggity whack. So
Oh, that was good.
so backwards.
Can you say that?
What?
wiggity 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 whack?
Wiggity wiggity whack.
Yeah, Paul did it better.
Could you
Okay.
say it?
No, absolutely
Try.
not. No, not going to.
If I recall correctly, everything was to the back with a little slack because inside out it was wiggity wiggity wick. I never wore those pants backwards because
Did you have, what was the hammer pants? Did you have hammer pants?
I
They're
had-
like the
I had some-
Zumbas or whatever
I
they
had
were
some of
called?
those.
I had a lot of nylon running pants. Those were like a big deal,
Yeah.
like those pants. And then we wore them to like a skating party and you'd slide and then you get a hole in them and I'd be sad.
Wasn't that the brand Zumbas or Zumbas?
So I had some Zubaz pants.
Zubaz, yeah.
They were owned by the Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
So that was pretty exciting to find that out.
All right,
Big
so
time.
this so people are really like. So let me ask this question about fashion, and I'm being serious because I know you're in like the marketing world and Penny's Ullman. So like, when you see like
What is
you
happening
do
right
like
now?
videos and stuff. So like, I figured you at some point I'd do like videos for something that has to do with fashion.
Okay, just.
Oh, here's
spit it
my
out.
question.
I was more laughing at.
Please.
I'm in the marketing and Penny's a woman.
I know, like just spit it out.
Like, okay, so when you see these things like from Fashion Week, are people really wearing these? Because like I don't ever see this. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you see these people walk down the runway and they're wearing these crazy things.
Well, that's the rub with what they're calling a trend because I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
No, they're absolutely. I mean, like Kim Kardashian's probably.
Like I'm
wearing
here and I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, but like
Shepherdsville.
or Shepherdsville, but I'm in Louisville. I've never seen anybody wear some of these things that they're like saying are now the high fashion.
Well, so I think what we are, and that's why we're considered like the flyover states, we don't really get, if anybody here was going to be that fashion forward, I think you would be mocked mercilessly.
Yeah, all of it moves from the coastlines. So like West Coast, East Coast, it all eventually ends up in the Midwest, and by that time, it's irrelevant.
I mean, I like
So-
living here because if I saw this, I mean, what are you doing?
So there's actually people either like in New York or Los Angeles
Yeah,
walking
probably.
around with one leg pant
Yeah,
cut off.
I would probably say so.
Yeah, I bet they are. I bet it's not as prevalent as this, but I mean, it's a bad look.
That
But
is dumb.
there's worse, and it's coming up here. Oh my gosh, with these websites with the terms.
It's those cookies.
With the New York Times, they're all right. It is the teddy bear pants, and
Those are kind of cute, actually.
these are pants that have been. Oh, I do not want.
Is it a bunch of teddy bears?
It is. They're almost like Beanie Babies that have been sewed onto a pair of pants, and that is the new trend sweeping the world. They say.
It'd be uncomfortable to sit on, wouldn't it?
Well, you know what? I would think so. I would think. Well, it might be real soft as long as you didn't get like a nose anywhere
As
bad.
I was saying, like eyes and noses are usually those hard pieces.
But this gentleman is selling these pants, and it's 200 pairs of pants that they're selling. Let me get my mind right. All right, like 200 Beanie Baby type things that they've sewn to pants, and they are selling them. And there's a rap. I believe
Okay,
that
he
is
looks ridiculous.
who is that's ASAP Rocky.
Yeah.
ASAP.
I mean, how
A$AP
can
Rocky.
he like wear socks and sandals and just be relevant?
I mean,
But
so
if-
here's the thing. Like,
Okay, this is a current rapper though. This is like a person.
he's big deal.
I know
rapper.
that's
All right, so he looks like a gentleman who does not have the money that he for sure does have. This is also, though, for the record, this is the gentleman who, when we had the last eclipse about 5 years ago, he said, "I don't believe in any of this dumb eclipse business," and then the next day had to cancel a big portion of a world tour because he couldn't see because he looked right at the sun.
awesome. Oh, I remember that now. I
So
do
this is this
remember
guy,
that.
but Flea. In,
Okay, that kind of fits with his personality, though.
yeah, but.
But they're just taking pants and sewing teddy bears on them.
Yeah,
so
so-
anybody could do this.
What I'm saying is, I
We'll
think
get you some.
well, they're selling them on
That
Etsy,
sounds great.
the page Planet Sugar Kush, for $150, $375, and $155 respectively. Now, I will say that is a terrible way to put that out because it's out of order. But they do it with slippers, boots, and beanies as well. So you're saying none of y'all would wear that?
Jeremy probably would.
I would, ironically.
Yeah. Seems
would-
like something
I could
he
wear
would
some
be
big-
into.
yeah.
Can we? The first $1,000 that I get from winning our bet that we made, I will buy you some of these pants, and you can wear them.
I would wear it.
This lady is claiming that she has sold in 3 years 1,500 stuffed animal themed items on her Etsy shop, and I'm going to say she's a liar. This is some
Oh,
real,
no, I bet
some
she
real
has.
nonsense.
That looks definitely.
I mean, it is a bikini made out of it. It is.
That
I mean,
very
you pointed out the
practical.
one thing
It is.
we probably shouldn't talk about.
That doesn't seem very practical to get in the water in that, though. Like, doesn't it take on water and now you're like weighed down?
I got it. Let me see.
Well, you're not doing
Some
a
of that stuff's
cannonball in
not
it.
bad. That purse.
Oh, Penny.
It's like
Oh no, honey.
some headphones, like
No,
some
Penny.
earmuffs.
No.
What? Come on.
The shoes are kind of fun.
Y'all are
All right.
being haters.
Listen, cut to.
I would never do this, but the shoes are kind of fun.
All right,
like
so-
if you had like a kid would like those.
Let's say your son has about 8 years till he's out of school.
Yeah.
Let's give you 10 years, and you're shuffling around Disney World by yourself in a pair of animal slippers.
I mean, yeah, that sounds great.
A robe.
Sounds like a life.
And a 600 glass of wine and a pepperoni. It's going to be, we're going to be quite the old people in these moon boots. So
Good for her, though.
What I'm saying is fashion's dumb. Can we agree? Like,
Yeah, that was the point of my question earlier. Like, I think it's dumb. Like, I don't think anybody reasonable is actually doing these things.
This coming from a man who wears like the same 6 shirts.
It's called minimalism, and it's a thing. I have like 6 clothing items. I just rotate them through.
Yeah. Don't act like you don't know that, Paul. You see him every Sunday up on the stage.
okay, well, first of all, I feel similarly because I don't have tons of clothes because I don't care about clothes. And I will say, Jeremy, the one issue I have, one of your shirts, you blend in real well with the back wall.
Which one?
It's like
it's a brown one. Is it the one with the
stripes.
fake pocket?
It's like brown.
No, it's brown and stripes. It's like a
it's brown and beige checkered almost, but
Yes.
it's the same color as the shiplap in the
Yeah.
back, and it's like, oh, he's like camouflage back there.
Okay. Well, I have to go under my 6 shirts. Okay. Now I'm
He's down to 5.
shirts.
Well,
But I will like this one right here.
Yeah.
So I wear this one a lot. I actually have 3. Like, I have this in many different colors, but I actually have 2 of this exact same color one.
stop it, Penny.
Like, I just
Sorry.
once I find
Sounds like
something I
Joseph down there. I've got many different colors.
I just like to. I just wear the same things.
He's got many
It's
shirts,
comfortable.
many colors. He's doing great. So
It's good.
again, he saved all the money from not having cable, and now he's got multiple colored shirts. So
Yeah.
we've decided art not the best, fashion also not the best.
Yeah.
So hopefully we didn't run anybody off with our sweeping brushstrokes of things that are stupid, because what we're trying to do here, Journey.
Oh, can we say something about stupid real quick?
Oh, hang on. Let me check. Yes, we can.
Yeah. Have you guys had the chicken Big Mac? Not good.
That sounds disgusting.
I don't like a regular Big Mac,
Oh, I love it.
and I don't love a McDonald's, to be honest.
The
That's the
chicken
only thing I
patty
like
is chewy.
is Big Mac. No, the chicken Big Mac was awful. It was a swing and a miss. But the reason I'm bringing it up is a throwback. It reminded me of what we did with the cookies and Oreos, or the Coke and Oreos.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it seemed like something like somebody's kid was like, let's do this, and then they were like, all right, because anybody that's actually eaten it would be like, this is not good at all.
Is it the Big Mac sauce?
It's the Big Mac sauce. It's basically if you took McChickens and instead of using
I think I
hamburger
could put
patties,
that together. Yeah, we got
Yeah. But the problem with it is
She's pretty sharp.
it's a lot of bread. It's a lot of bread.
Too many
Because you got-
carbs.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's
just
because it's got that middle bread, right? In
Yeah.
the Big Mac. Yeah, I don't.
and nothing really cuts through. It feels like you're just eating a bun with a faint
Now, why don't they make breaded hamburger patties? Is that a thing?
breaded hamburger.
Because they bread chicken breast. Why
Yeah,
don't they
like
just,
country fried steak.
Is that what country fried steak
Yeah,
is?
it's basically a hamburger that's. Yeah.
Oh, I've never had a country fried steak.
Oh, I can get you one.
What?
Local supermarket has
Are you
great ones.
serious?
Apparently.
Well, we're gonna bring you a country fried steak. Oh, you
No, I
need to
think
try.
I'll be okay without it. But
No, I
I've
think
gone
you
this
need
many-
You know,
to.
you used to have a good one was Po Folks.
oh
They
man,
folks.
did. It was so good. Oh,
po
gosh.
folks, good lord.
I would love to
We're-
have that
we're-
right now. Yeah. Would love a Po Folks right now.
We're drinking out of a mason jar. We're having a moon pie and some
Some
po
sweet
folks.
tea.
You are so old.
Some
Po
catfish.
Folks.
Yeah.
I know po folks on Dixie Highway. We used to-
Nobody under the age of 60 has ever said, "Oh, what's a Po
They had
Folks
some
right
red
now.
beans and rice that were really good as well.
Man, we are like. We were like coming from the Dust Bowl. I know we're not that old people. I don't know what's going on. All right.
Oh, good.
But yes, they do have a breaded hamburger. It's a
Okay.
it's country fried steak.
Well, that
That's what
seems interesting to me that that's not a bigger item, because it seems like they
Yeah.
bread everything else and deep
Yeah.
fry whatever at the fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you had a Salisbury steak.
I don't think
What
so.
is
That
a
sounds
Salisbury
great.
steak? Yeah.
I used to have Steak-umms. Did you ever have Steak-umm? Those like microwave Steak-umms? Oh man, you're missing out.
Is it like it's a microwave
Sounds-
steak? That does not sound.
It does not
Well,
sound
no,
good.
it's.
Was it flavorful?
Oh, it was. I mean, Jim McGaffigan had a bit
like
about
that,
it. Is it
yeah.
steak? What steak? Well, they're chicken ones now. How about
Ew.
that? A chicken steak? But
It's not what it looks like.
okay, well,
I mean, that seems like
Oh
a
my
product
gosh.
you would just like. I don't know.
That seems
just-
like something you get at Dollar General.
Yeah, it probably
well,
is.
look at it. Is
A lot of sodium.
this is not something that you're getting at a nice restaurant? You don't go out and order the Steak-umm. What is your Steak-umm like here?
What, they have different flavors. Like they have like a Cajun
okay.
one.
For the record, I haven't had one in more than 30 years, but now apparently they have Angus beef ones. They've got.
Like yeah,
I mean, they've got Cuban style.
it's like a po' boy for New Orleans. Just put steak on there, call it a Cajun steak. And just put some seasoned
Sounds
salt on
really
there.
good. Sounds really good right
Like
now.
pork steaks.
Does it come with like a
sliced.
gravy? That would be really great too.
I think you provide the gravy. They're not really giving you much.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
sure
not
this is
giving you
$2 for a box of. Steak-umms, but yeah, I'm sure. Holy goodness, why is that so loud?
All right.
Okay, we need to move on.
So we were going to talk about community.
Yeah, Steak-umms. That's what I'm serving for Thanksgiving. Is Steak-umms. Just take boxes.
I mean,
Steak-umms and be like, this is what we're having.
You take a plate home with you.
Yeah.
All right.
Just take the box. Just take the whole box.
I really, I had high hopes for. So let's talk about community.
Let's talk about it.
So Jeremy has been going over the what did you call them? The
core values.
The core values of our church here. And boy, Penny could not be less interested.
Sorry.
She did get off the mic to yawn and suck in half the table with the big yawn that she took in. But
sorry, I was tired.
One of those is community, and a thing that we have said from the beginning of Journey, and it's also, it's a thing that I've told people before with their businesses and things, is we always ask the question, what would happen if we were gone? Would people miss us? Would there be a hole in the community? And that seems like a thing that, like post-COVID, it's been harder to relate to, but it's been a thing that we're getting into. So can you speak on the importance then, Jeremy, of the community and the church's role in it?
So there's two, I think I defined it the other day. Like there's two ways to think about community within church. The first one is the church community itself, like making sure we're building community. That you actually know the people you go to church with, you like the people you go to church with, like you're doing
those are two different things
to invest in each other. What? Liking and
knowing,
that's true. Liking and knowing, knowing and trying to like the people you go to church with. We're just gonna watch a Steak-umms commercial.
I'm watching it while you talk.
Yeah. So there's that, and then the other side of community is being involved in the community that you're here to love and serve. Yeah. So most churches that I've been a part of, I would say that, and I'm not trying to speak bad of them, but like they just weren't involved in their community. Like they would say they were because people from the community come to your church. Mm-hmm. But as far as actually being involved in the community around you, there's very little. Like you might do an outreach event, but really that's just to get people to try to come to your church, So you're not actually you're not a stakeholder in your community, if that makes sense. So for me, that's the big deal, is trying to invest in people here. So they feel like that they're getting what they need, and that, I read an article a long time ago, like 5 years ago, and they were saying that they interviewed 60 men, and of course it's a small study, but they asked them just basically who would be your pallbearers, and they were like, well, how many do you need? And they were like 6, and they were like, I don't know, what I'm saying, it was just one of those weird, you don't think about stuff like that, but they just didn't even know 6 other guys that they would feel would do that, right? And then there was another one came out about if something happened to you, an emergency, and it was who, we talked about the president, vice president, if something happened, who would you call? And it's people don't know anymore. They don't know, they have people they might call, but also that's the importance of that community, is having people that you're these are the people I'd call. These are the people that would help me take care of my kids, meet my needs, come see me, all those type of things. So doing that, I think is an important part. But I think a part of it is having friends in church. I don't think a lot of people feel I think they go to church with people, but feeling they actually have friends in church. I think that's a big thing that Jesus tells his disciples, now I'll call you friends. And so that's one of the last things he says to them, and now I'll call you friends. So it's important to Jesus. And then like I said, the other side of that is the bigger, kind of what you were going towards, is just we want to be a part of the community. We want it to be we're not just in the community, but we're a part of the community. And that people see us as a valuable asset here, so hopefully people that come here see what we're doing as a value, but then also our community around us sees what we're doing as a value. So,
yeah. It sounds stupid, but I always think of it in the terms of the movie Sister Act, where there was always the church there in the middle. Yeah. And then she was like, we got to get out of this building. You got to go out and do things in the street. If you're going to be somebody and go somewhere, they were making a difference by going out there. So what do you think about,
first of all, great movie.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
Two flawless films.
Fantastic.
Frank, hey ho. All right. So what do you...
First of all, I think that's one of the reasons I started working at Journey, was just because of Jeremy's vision of being in the community. And I appreciated that, because I felt taking over children's ministry, it's okay, what are we going to do? What events are we going to do? What are we going to do within the church? And it's as a kid, what do you really remember most about church? As a kid, you remember doing fun things, but what I remember,
I don't.
What I remember is going to the soup kitchen with my dad and serving. I remember things that we did that were outside of the church more than I do that was in it. So like I want to do more of that. And I think that the policy like I put in place, especially if someone asks for something, then they're part of the community. We never say no. So,
Well, that's good.
yeah.
I think that I was actually real impressed this week because my wife was out of town, and I told the kids, I was like, listen, I don't have to actually work in the back this week because I had people filling in all the slots. So I was like, y'all can sleep in and I'll come get you for a second service, or you can get up early with me and come in. And Addie was so excited about the Friendsgiving, the big, she was like, can we just get up and go? Oh, all right. I mean, because 100 times out of 100 times as a child, I'd have said, I'll just stay home and not really go. But we didn't have that sense of community growing up in a church. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. And I think that's something that, I think we have to get better at it. I think it's a struggle at times. And I think, sometimes people are like, they'll come to church or they'll leave Journey or other churches and they'll be like, well, I didn't find any friends there. And I'm like, well, you also kind of have to put some effort into that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we're here just to like match you up with people. Like, you've got to be willing to like put in some effort, get involved. Small groups is obviously a great avenue, which is something we're like rethinking and retooling for next year. But there's other ways, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't come and show up late, sit in the back by yourself, not talk to anybody.
You sound like my wife.
And then 6 months later be like, well, I never found any friends. And I'm like, well, you didn't really put yourself out there, I think that's part of it is we have to create environments even for those people where they can hopefully find something they connect with. But also at the same time, like being a part of a community takes effort. It doesn't just happen, and I think that that's something we have to rethink.
Here's the thing though, growing up, it did just happen because a lot of those people that are sitting there, the introverted people that are sitting in our sanctuary right now were in Sunday school classes.
Yeah.
And their group was given to them. Yeah. So like for them to have to make an effort, it's just more difficult.
Yeah.
If any of you introverted people want to come run media stuff, that's good. We're in the back.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with being introverted or extroverted. I think that's even important. I think community needs both of those types of people. Like, because if everyone was extroverted, it would be a lot all the time. It would be too much. But I think that's the thing too about community is everybody plays a part. And I think that's something that people, and I think too, like I've heard people say in the past, like, and it's kind of getting off on a tangent, but it is something that bothers me. People be like, I sat next to this family and nobody said anything to me. It was my first time. And I want to be like, yeah, what you don't know is that a group's only been here for 3 weeks. So they probably feel like a visitor too. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, you're getting all mad because they didn't, somebody didn't greet you next to you. And I'm like, well, they've only been here a couple weeks. So maybe they feel like a visitor too,
When you growing up, did your church like make the visitors stay seated? Did they do that? Did it?
No, our visitors would stand up. They would make me stand up.
No. Oh, that's even worse.
And do a
we could do that.
Quick confession before church started.
Yeah.
New people.
That's like the worst idea ever, but they would do that.
Spotlight on them.
Yeah.
No, I'm the other
If visitors stay seated, that sounds even worse. Just stay seated. If you're a visitor, just don't even stand up. Just don't even bother.
Listen, I kind of like the idea. Hey, if this is your first time at Journey, stay seated. Everybody else stand up. And now we're passing the collection plate. So everybody's standing up.
What if we had a visitor section? Like if you're a visitor, you just sit back here. So nobody's going to mess with you.
Okay, well, you joke, but that sounds ideal to me. Like that sounds like the best time.
Why have we not thought of that? Like doing a visitor section. Like just, hey, this is your first time. You just sit back there.
It kind of sounds like...
if you want to. We could say if you want to.
Well, almost antagonistic, like a sporting game. Like this is the home side and this is the visitors. You all are over here and you're not really with us yet. But if you come back next week, you can sit in the other section.
How about guest seating? We'll have a guest seating section.
I mean, I don't know. That seems like one of those...
we'll have popcorn back there. We'll make it cool so they want to be back there.
One of those zombie weeks where it seems like a good idea, but you might want to run it past a few people before we put that into things. So, and I think you're probably right for the majority of people, and we're not all blessed with a busybody spouse who really likes to mix it up and get in with people like I am. So when we were looking at churches to go to, there was one that it was kind of a bigger church out in the southeast part of Louisville, and we went there a couple of times, and that I was like, this is nice. I could just blend in with this crowd, and I don't have to see anybody or talk. And my wife said, absolutely not. This is not where we are. And then we came here, and she started volunteering us for things, and here we are, running this podcast right into the ground.
Yeah. No, it's great. This is a great one. This is, if nobody else listens, I enjoy it. So, no, I think it's just that idea. But I think, again, for a church as a whole, we've got to get better in the internal community. But I think the bigger thing is just that external community idea that I think that most churches... I do agree with that sentiment that most churches could shut down, and other than the people that attend, nobody would care or notice.
Well, I think that is and I mean, I don't know, I've been on them in the past, but like the church I grew up in as a child, that's kind of the road they're headed, is because they don't get a lot of new people because they're in a community that could use, a helping hand, and they could use, the resources of the church, and that's not really their bag. And, they built a gym and like a life center and that kind of thing. And they're like, well, it didn't boost attendance or do anything like that. I'm like, I mean, that's just.
I guess the question is like, it's a really hard look in the mirror, is that if Journey were to shut down tomorrow, would the community be at loss? You know what I'm saying? Like the things that we do for our community, would they just find someone else to do it, or would nobody be able to do it? And I think that's like something we need to look at for the future, is like what we do in our church. It should be a positive impact, that if we weren't here anymore, it would leave a void.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think, to your statement too, Paul, I think those two things come to this idea of like, sometimes like a church like that, like they build a life center. Mm-hmm. I don't know where your church grew up at, but I guarantee you if they open that up to the community, attendance on Sunday morning might not increase, but that would get used by their community.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like that, like, I think that's the metrics as we think of like health for the community of just Sunday morning like attendance versus like, no, we're actually offering something valuable, because them having that gym in that community. I mean, you grew up South End, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so that's changed over the years. South End is not what it used to be. I mean, it's very diverse now. I mean, it always has been, but really it's very diverse now. So what I'm saying is like, there might be people in that community that would not have access to a building like that, except for through that church.
Right.
But because they don't see that as like, oh, that's helping us grow on Sunday, we're not going to open that up. But if they did open it up, that would actually be fulfill a need probably in that community.
Well, and that's and that's and like I said, I don't mean to always just rag on it, but it's kind of it's definitely a thing that has come up in the past, because there's neighborhoods all around it that they definitely could use some Jesus, but they're like right in the middle of a neighborhood. And someone a few years ago, and I mean, hilarious to me because I'm not in charge of any of it, they got their air conditioning stolen. The church did. Somebody from like a block away, I guess, came and they just took them in the middle of the night. And I feel like if you're that involved with your church, like they're like, oh no, that's our church. This is this is part of the community. That's kind of thing that you don't really get. You don't get that kind of nonsense and that kind of thing, because you feel like you're part of the community and you're stealing from a friend as opposed to this building that's down the street, like that kind of deal.
I won't name the church, but I did talk to a church that's actually in the South End years ago. And it was when Journey was right pre-COVID. So we were growing without even trying, and everything was working and it was great. But they asked me, like, they were like, what would you do if you were us? And I said, well, where are you at? And they told me, I said, first thing I would do is start a Spanish speaking service because I know what community you're in. Second thing I would do is, you're all white people in a non-white community.
Yeah,
anymore.
there's a lot of that. Yeah.
I would put somebody that looks like somebody from your community on stage. Like, and that was my suggestion. And they were like, no, we're not going to do that. And I'm like, well, okay. But I'm just saying, like, if you want to be there for your community, and your community is mostly, this demographic of people, then you might want to start considering putting more of that demographic on stage, or offering something more for that demographic, because that's your neighborhood.
Right. So. And I think that is where the community piece, where you said has two parts, where it's you have the community of the people at church, and then your church is also a bigger part of the community. And if you want both of those things, you're going to have to, meet people halfway, because it's just like any other business. You're not attracting people necessarily with what you're doing. And it sounds crass to like consider it as a business, but if you're saying no one's coming, it's like, well, the people you want to come probably pass 4 or 5 more churches to get here. Yeah. And they're going to, the people around you that could use it, they don't see you as welcoming. So I get it. Well, big,
I think, but then I think again, like just in the smaller, it's the 10,000 foot view. From the smaller point of view, like, like just being able to have friendships in church, and people that like you could call. And I mean, even silly stuff like when we were kids, like, and we used to go out to lunch every Sunday with somebody from church. I felt like, like somebody would invite us to like go do something, or like families, and just having that like community and fellowship with the people in the church, that you actually can hang out with.
We'll put everybody at your house.
Huh?
We'll put everybody at your house.
That's fun. We have pool parties at our house.
We're gonna have some Steak-umms and pool parties.
Steak-umms. Yeah, it's gonna be a Steak-umms. I'm gonna extra couple microwaves.
Listen, I mean, a Steak-umm is not hard to make. You could put probably a couple in the air fryer if you really want to make them fancy, and some swimming. And
not to change the subject, but there is a guy that has I think it's Twitter, where he does everything from Dollar General. Like all he ever eats is from Dollar General, and he's like making some pretty good stuff. Like it's all like super processed and high sodium, but like he's doing like gourmet meals of stuff he makes from Dollar General.
I feel like I would like this.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I can't remember. I just remember watching it.
Jeremy
and being like,
Willis.
Yeah, Jeremy. I'm starting a YouTube channel just for that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, hey, listen, we are always looking for more community here. So if you think any of this sounds good to you, feel free to come on out. And if you're in Shepherdsville and you need something, feel free to reach out, because we are here for you, because that's what God wants us to do. So check us out also every Sunday at 10 and 11:15. We're here. We're in church. We're also online if you want to stream it on YouTube or Facebook. And anything else, just send us an email, anything in the description, and we'll get back to you as quick as we can. So that's been another episode. See you guys next time.
Yep.
Give me a hand, show me the door. I cannot stand to wait anymore. Somebody said, be what you'll be. We could be old and cold and dead on the sea. But I love you more than words can say. I can't count the reasons I should stay. Give me some more time and a dream. Give me the hope to run out of steam. Somebody said it could be here. We could be roped up, tied up, dead in a year. I can't count the reasons I should stay. One by one, they all just fade away. I'm tied to the waiting seas. I'm tired of that part of me that makes up a perfect lie to keep us between. But hours turn into days, so watch what you throw away and be here to recognize there's another way. Give me some more time and a dream. Give me the hope to run out of steam. Somebody said it could be here. We could be roped up, tied up, dead in a year. Oh, I love you more than words can say. I can't count the reasons I should